Josh, glad to have you back.
Glad to be here, guys. Thanks for having me on the show.
Green shirt, are you Irish?
I am.
Really?
A little bit. I'm
Not
told
like
anyways.
Mr. Sicilian over here.
Who knows? I might have a little bit of that too. A great melting pot.
Yeah, well, it certainly is, and you're coming back, and over the 3 years that you took a little bit of a break, 2.5 years, has the sports world changed?
It seems that it's evolved a little bit. You mentioned I was here for 10 years. It was ever evolving there. It seemed like something was different every season. And one thing that's great is, we were always very adaptive to that. And I think that Neil and his team have done a great job at doing that in my absence. And I'm looking forward to being a part of the team again and moving forward with them.
One thing, when you brought up adaptive, I'm going to sing your praises here, was that Ironman that was pulled off in a matter of weeks. So you were the man behind that. Tell us a little bit about that experience. Now looking back, and it's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. Some days it seems like yesterday, other days it seems like a lifetime ago. One thing I will do is I'll speak to our great team at the time. I believe our team's even better now, but the great relationship, something that Mr. Jackson, Neil Duncan, and Mark Zimmerman have taught me, I believe, are three of the great mentors that I had in the 10 years I was there, is it comes down to relationships. Polk County's evolved into the great sports mecca that it is due to our relationships and the education that Mr. Jackson has started with all of our local municipalities. From what I remember, they were in Kona, Hawaii, found out, got on the news.
The Ironman group.
The Ironman group, excuse me.
For the World Championships.
Yes, they were in the World Championships, saw the devastation that was going down in Panama, where the full is located every year for Ironman. Sitting around a bonfire, 10 o'clock at night, and the first name that came to mind was Lake Eva Park in Haines City, Florida. Would be a great location for us to transplant this event. And I think that's a testament to the great relationships and the venue and how we always made them feel welcome and always went that extra step. I think a lot of these event organizers and rights holders are sold a date and then kind of, here's the keys, help yourself, and left alone. And I do believe that the World Triathlon Corporation and respectively Ironman was never treated that way in Polk County. They were always given first right, the first treatment. So, that's why they decided to move it here.
So basically, to give Reader's Digest version, you had an Ironman event that was canceled. And this was in December. I think it was Hurricane Michael came in, just tore up Panama City Beach and Mexico Beach, and they couldn't hold the event.
Yep.
Ironman headquarters calls up, actually in the night, and said, hey, there's nobody in the United States that can do this. Would you be interested? Or would you be willing, rather? And the answer was yes. In 2.5 weeks, pulled together an entire county, really, almost 1,200 volunteers, 1,500 volunteers that you pulled together, got Haines City behind it, and pulled something that has never been done in history.
Yeah, DOT.
In 2.5 weweeks.
Yeah, DOT was a big part of that. Haines City was a part of that. Polk County, Haines City PD, the Polk County Sheriff's Office. There was a lot of important people that all had to be on board at the same time, and that's kind of what I was getting at with the relationships. I don't think that happens anywhere besides Polk, and the education that has been taught of how important the sports economy is to our area and how that helps our relationship. And I think because of that, the factor, we've signed Ironman to another 6-year deal, so 2 consecutive 3-year deals, and I think a lot of that's because of that relationship.
Well, they were back in town this week, and I know that you were meeting with them and discussing, some of the things going on. I saw an old friend of mine, Tom Zebart, I hadn't seen in a couple of years, a couple more than that. And he told me, I didn't tell you this yet, but he told me when we were visiting that, and the other guy that was with them said that Polk County and Haines City are the best and most receptive venues they have anywhere in the United States. That's what he said. That's like, whoa, you know. And so obviously you guys have done a great job. Challenges coming up, Josh. I know that your role is going to be a little bit different. Henceforward, some of it's going to be sponsorship, powerboat racing. I know that you're loved with that group. What do you think? I mean, can we help them grow like we've helped water skiing grow?
I think there's a good formula, a good equation set forth by our leaders at sports marketing. Anytime we've brought in an NGB or a governing body, basically all of their events for the nation or the world funnel through Polk County at that point. And it comes down, you know, broken record relationships. And when your HQ is in the backyard of the venues, it's an easy choice to pick that. So I think it's going to enhance not only the events that we have, but I do believe it's going to afford us opportunities to go after some larger and more events.
Wow.
And so coming from Davenport, you were the park superintendent at Davenport, based out of the facility there, creating programs. What are you going to miss the most out of that? I mean, you put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears over those few years.
Oh, it was interesting opening up a new facility and building out the programs and getting them to where they, you know, make a little money. You know, your goal for city parks is always to at least break even. So, you know, I made some good relationships there. I think what I'll miss most is the community there. I made a lot of good friends and some lasting relationships that. Not that I won't get to see them, but the day in and day out struggles. You know, you build bonds when you struggle to succeed, and I do believe that it's in a good place now. But that's probably what I'll miss most.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and they've got some pretty good leadership up there. I know Kelly Callahan is really, you know, he has a vision for the city, and that's refreshing. You know,
Certainly.
And I'm sure you felt that as well. But Davenport is an area that a lot of people don't talk about, but at one point in Polk County, it was the largest municipality. They had a population over 20,000 people. This is back in the 20s. And now it's kind of getting not quite that size, but it's starting to get that way.
Yep.
I mean, that type of growth is going to require new infrastructure. And even in the 3 years that you were gone, the infrastructure here, has that made a difference, do you think, in the organization's ability to recruit new events?
Certainly. I see a ton of growth there, a ton of potential. As more people come into that area, you know, they're going to need things. I mean, obviously roads and water, but, you know, they need leisure services as well. And the community center that I helped open is already full. They're already at capacity. They need more. They need more fields. You know, and that will in turn help us and give us more venues to go after, and it's a great location. And like you mentioned with Mr. Callahan, he's got a great vision. He really believes in quality of life for his residents, and you know, he puts on some great events, and I think there's a lot of parallels there for what we're trying to do.
Yeah. Well, you know, again, I think they've done really a good job up there, and obviously they're going to miss you. I haven't seen Kelly since you came back, but I'm sure I'll get an earful when I do. But the fact of the matter is, everybody's glad to have Josh back. Josh, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it. I know you're a busy guy, especially this time of the year is just absolutely insanity. What other 9, 10 events this weekend and week this group is managing, and it's just literally nonstop.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely good stuff. If you enjoyed this interview and want to watch more Sports Central, click the video below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.